On October 13th, 1972, a chartered aircraft prepared for a flight across the Andes Mountains. A Uruguayan rugby team and their companions boarded, expecting a routine journey to Chile. Despite worsening weather reports, the aircraft departed from Montevideo toward the mountain route. Thick clouds soon covered the peaks below, removing all visual reference to the terrain. As the plane continued west, turbulence increased and conditions became more difficult to navigate. Relying on instruments, the pilots believed they had already crossed the Andes range. They began descending while the aircraft was still surrounded by dangerous mountain peaks. Suddenly, the clouds broke, revealing a steep ridge directly in front of the aircraft. With no time to climb or turn, the plane struck the slope at full speed. The fuselage broke apart and slid violently down the glacier below. Several passengers were killed instantly, while others suffered severe injuries. Those who survived stepped out into freezing air at extreme altitude. The broken fuselage became their only protection from wind and cold. Injuries were treated using torn fabric and materials taken from the wreckage. A small radio was recovered and became their only link to the outside world. Days later, broadcasts announced that the official search had been called off. With rescue unlikely, their limited food supply was soon completely exhausted. Survival now depended on decisions none of them had ever imagined making. Each day, snow was melted over metal to produce small amounts of drinking water. Weeks after the crash, an avalanche struck the fuselage during the night. The shelter was buried beneath heavy snow, trapping several survivors inside. By morning, 8 more people had died from suffocation and cold. The group realized they could no longer wait for rescue to arrive. Two survivors volunteered to attempt a dangerous journey across the mountains. They began crossing glaciers while suffering from hunger in extreme altitude. Blizzards erased visibility, forcing them to walk without clear direction. At night, they carved small caves in the snow to avoid freezing. After many days, the white landscape slowly began to change. Rocks and small plants appeared, signaling lower and warmer ground. A river soon became visible, offering a natural path downward. They followed the river, believing it would eventually lead to civilization. Signs of human activity finally appeared along the riverbanks. A local shepherd noticed them and realized they were crash survivors. He carried their message to authorities in the nearest village. Rescue helicopters were sent into the mountains to locate the wreckage. "16 survivors were carefully lifted from the crash site. They were flown to safety and taken for medical treatment. The abandoned crash site remained silent in the mountains. Investigators later confirmed that navigation errors caused the crash. New aviation safety systems were developed to prevent similar disasters. The incident became one of the most studied survival cases in history. It remains a powerful example of human endurance against nature. This was Final Descent.